Hello and welcome to episode 18 of the Golden Boots podcast. This is your host, Jorge Gonzalez. Our podcast is all about soccer, all things soccer. We love soccer. For episode 18, we have Isaiah Reid. He is originally from the South Carolina area and is the 2020 ACC champ with Clemson University. How are you today, my man?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm great, man. How's your weekend been so far, man?
It's been pretty good, just chilling and stuff.
That's good. Is life different after you become a champion? Like, do you see things like with a clear perspective now?
It definitely is. Life's just been better.
That's awesome, man. Well, that's cool, man. What are you looking forward to do this weekend?
Probably rest a little bit. Then I'm gonna train for the spring season. So
that's awesome, and I love it. Like, you just win and get back in that mindset, right?
Of course, yeah.
That's cool, man. So our podcast, we like to bring on different players and kind of get their perspectives on the game, man. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I'm originally from Rock Hill, South Carolina. Played club at Discovery Soccer Club for about 8 years. I played there since I was 6 and all the way up until I was 14. I then moved to Charlotte Soccer Academy because I wanted to play for their developmental academy program.
Okay.
And from 14 all the way until 18, I played with CSA. So, I played at Discoveries, then moved to Charlotte, and then now I'm at Clemson. So,
okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. Do you remember, like, your beginnings when you first, like, started playing with a ball? Was it, like, a game? Was it, like, you just went out there? Like, what was it for you?
Yeah, so I actually started playing soccer when I was 2.
Okay.
And I played little kickers in Rock Hill. And I just remember, like, kicking the ball around. And I got introduced to the game because of my brother.
Okay.
So I used to be a drummer back then. I
Really?
only played the drums. That was my thing. And my brother started playing club soccer Discoveries. So I came out to one of the games. I'm like, yo, like, that looks cool. I'm trying to do that. And then so my parents were like, well, you have to choose between, like, drums and club soccer because they didn't want to pay for both of them. And so I ended up choosing soccer.
Okay.
And so from then on, from 5 until now, I've been playing competitive soccer.
That's awesome, man. So it was either playing soccer or becoming, like, a professional in some band, then, huh?
Yeah, I mean, hopefully.
Nice. That's awesome, man. So tell us about your experience playing club. What did that teach you?
Just playing club, starting off with Discoveries. Discoveries really developed me as a player, truly. Like, I know I went to Charlotte for the developmental academy, and they took me to the next level, but Discoveries really created the player that I am today. Just gave me a lot of touches on the ball, the tournaments, the practices, the training sessions. We worked closely with the Winthrop soccer team. They would come out and help train us, the coaching staff. They just really, helped me get good on the ball, technical and all that stuff. And then when I was able to go to Charlotte, I had the foundation from Discoveries, and that helped me to, take my game to the next level.
That's awesome. What do you remember most working on? Was it like the fitness? Was it the tactical side? Like,
probably at Discoveries, it'd probably be more the technical, honestly.
Okay.
We did, like, technical Tuesdays and stuff like that there, and I just remember, like, they really focused on our touches and stuff. And then when I got to U13 at Discoveries, U12, U13, it was more about the tactical side of the game.
Okay.
And so that's when I started to learn about that.
Okay.
So, yeah.
That's awesome. And then how was the Charlotte experience for you?
Charlotte was great. They really took me to the next level because they really focused on the tactical aspect.
Okay.
I came in as an attacking mid, actually.
Okay.
I played my last season at Discoveries. I played attacking mid, and I came to Charlotte, and they were like, "You'd be a good winger." And then I started playing winger, and they're like, "You know what? Like, you could get more exposure as a left back." And so my U14's year, I got called into a national team camp as a left back. And then from then on, I started playing left back more.
Oh, that's awesome,
and
man.
So, yeah, for Charlotte, I kept rotating between the two.
Okay. Yeah. What was that experience like when you got called up?
It was honestly insane. Just playing with some of the best players in the country.
Yeah.
I was able to learn from them. It was just an insane experience. And it was my first time really playing left back against, like, good competition. So, they had me on my toes. I'm not going to lie. But.
Are you the type of person, because there's always two types of people, man. Like, when you get into an environment where you're like, okay, everybody's good. Yeah. You're kind of a little bit afraid, but you go anyways. And then there's the people that are like, all right, whatever. Like, I'm about to dominate. Which one would you say you are?
I'd say definitely right now I'm, like, the dominate one.
Okay,
nice. maybe back then when, like, I first got to Charlotte, because, I was, like, kind of like the big fish of the little pond in Rock Hill, and then I had to come to Charlotte where, like, all the big boys were, and I was like, I'm kind of scared, but now, I just have the mindset, wherever you put me, I'm just going to try and dominate, so that's how I am now.
That's awesome, man. So you've got experience on a lot of different positions then, right?
Yeah.
That cam role, that winger role, that fullback role. Which one have you liked the most?
Probably fullback.
Okay.
Because I played left wing literally all my life, from like U8 all the way up, and like Cam too. But left back, like there's something like satisfying to me about making an overlapping run and like whipping the ball and then making the run back. Like I just loved like the attacking side of left back.
Okay.
But then, you know, when I became 16, I started really loving defending.
Okay.
And that's when I started to fall in love with the position, doing the dirty work, getting to the ground, tackling people. So, yeah.
Okay. That is fun, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, do you remember, like, a really strong tackle that you've had on somebody?
Or? Oh, yeah. It was in the Concord Fire game. I remember we traveled to play them, and the dude was just coming down the line, and he was coming, like, with a lot of pace. And he's, like, 10 yards on me, and I'm coming across, and I just slide tackle me, like, flies up in the air, and I was just like, yeah, it was a strong tackle. And the bench was like, ooh. Like.
That's awesome, man. Yeah. Well, cool. Tell us a little bit about that transition then from Charlotte to Clemson. What was that like, man? How did you actually end up getting there?
So my process actually happened pretty early.
Okay.
So I was at Charlotte. I got called into that camp, and my dad was like, you should start looking at colleges. And I was like, well, I was a freshman in high school at the time. And it was the summer before my sophomore year. Okay. And I was like, why do I need to look at colleges? Like, I have time. And I was like, you know what? I'll go to some camps anyway. And I was going to go to the Wake Forest, NC State, and Clemson camp. Mm-hmm. And so I go to the Wake Forest one, it's all good and stuff like that. And I go to the Clemson camp. And, it was their ID summer camp. And I was thinking, like, there's going to be, like, fun, just like any other soccer camp, just go and have fun. And a few of my other teammates were there. So, I'm, playing, doing my thing, and I get called into the all-star game that they usually have at the camp.
Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah, and I play really good. And after the game, the coaches are talking to me, and they like the way I play. And, the coach said I reminded him of a player that he had before on his team.
Okay.
And so, long story short, ended up getting to be able to come on a visit. And my sophomore year, I committed. So I committed pretty early. So
okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's good, man. I mean, like, props to your parents for, like, instilling that in you. Because I think, like, the issue that I see sometimes is, like, people just don't know, right? Like, kids, like, when you're a kid, you just don't know, right? And kind of getting you ready, set up for that. So tell us about when you actually went to Clemson. How was that, man?
That was an insane experience. I'm not going to lie. I was a little nervous at first. Okay. Clemson's a big program. And me, coming from, I came from a developmental academy team, but it was a non-MLS club. And you hear about, like, at a lot of these top D1 schools, like, they get all these MLS kids, Red Bulls, all these places. And, I'm coming in, I was like, I'm just the kid from Rock Hill, South Carolina, going up against, like, the captain of New York Red Bulls or something like that. So coming in, I was, like, a little bit nervous. But when I got there, I just started playing, doing my thing, and now I'm, like, really comfortable there. So
nice. Well, what's the mindset, man? That mindset shift from playing, like, just club to actually playing in college, especially a D1 university like Clemson. Yeah. What kind of mindset do you have, you think, to reach that level?
To reach that level, you have to be hungry and confident. I'd say really hungry. Like, you got to want that. You know, my freshman year was really when I made the transition. From being a club player to really becoming a college player, it's the confidence, it's the hunger, knowing that you're going to go in and dominate no matter the scenario. So, like, my freshman year, I came in, I was playing good and stuff like that, but, I'd be a little bit nervous sometimes. Yeah. And, now it's just, like, dominate, hunger, no matter who's in front of you, just got to have that hunger, and that's how you can get to the level.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love that, man. That is so important. Like, people don't, like, there's a lot of players out there that have skill set, right? Like, I think from 15 to 16, like, if you've been playing all your life, like, you kind of have the skill set. Yeah. But then when you get to those later teen and early 20s, that's when the mindset part comes in, because you see a lot of great players out there, but they don't have the confidence or the mindset to actually go out there and dominate. Like, I've watched or I've witnessed different players. I'm like, man, this guy's really good, but he can't handle the pressure right now. Yeah. Right?
And to add on to that, confidence, I would say that's probably one of the most important things to be successful in D1. That's what I've learned. You need to be technical, have some tactical awareness. But, you see players that come from these insane teams. They'll be, like, national team players, all this stuff. Yep. And they get to college, and it's like sometimes you don't hear about them and stuff like that. I tell you, it's literally confidence. Like, you can come from any team, any club, high school, whatever it is, you come into D1 with confidence and you have the skill set that you already have, you're going to be successful.
That's awesome,
And then you add in the coachability piece, being able to soak in what the coaches are telling you, you're going to be successful. So
yeah, that's awesome, man. And I think also, like, you have to have confidence, but also not have too much of an ego, right?
Yeah.
Because, you're a great player, but you're around a lot of other great players too. So you better listen and kind of get that mindset. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, the people that are putting you on the field are the coaches, correct?
Yeah. And that's what I learned too. You probably heard this saying, the people who are humble and the people who are going to be humbled. And so when you go to, a D1 school and you come from a club and you're the guy, well, you come to the D1 school and it's everyone was the guy at their club. So, you got to, change your mindset a little bit. And, if you come in humble, you'll have much more success than if you come in thinking that you're going to be the hot boy or whatever.
Yeah,
so,
I gotcha. I do like that you're kind of like a homegrown talent for them, though, right? Because, like, you're in South Carolina, Clemson, so you've got players from other areas. I'm sure you guys have, like, foreign players, too, that come in.
Yeah, that's actually really important to me. That's another reason why I chose Clemson. Just to show that, the homegrown boy can do it too. Because like Clemson, they recruit, around the country.
Some of the best, man.
Some of the best, they'll get their MLS national team top players. They'll get foreign players and stuff like that. But, I like that, I'm just a guy from Rock Hill, South Carolina, and that's something that I'm pretty proud of. And
of course, man. I mean, like, you're kind of removing the excuses of anyone else within South Carolina that says, oh, well, like, I mean, they only recruit from out of state. And you're like, no. I made it, so you can too. So like, that's what I think that's important when it comes to success, right? In anything, like, it's important for you to be successful because you create a platform and you can do great things with that platform and you can also do bad things with it. But I mean, just the importance of having someone to look up to, which is pretty cool. Yeah. So you guys are 2020 ACC champs, man. Tell us a little bit about that run, man. So there's teams that I feel like go win with like, all right, like we're going to dominate all the way till the end. What was it like for you guys?
So we come into the season, we usually set goals every season.
Okay.
And, we just wanted to have, the mindset just to dominate all the way through. And so we had some good performances, a little shaky in the middle. And I remember we lost to Wake Forest 2-0 and they just, they pretty much just battered us, and it was a 2-0 game. And, we were just like, what are we going to do to lift the spirits up? Because now it's tournament time. The regular season's over. We can't do anything about that loss. We need to find ourselves again.
Okay.
And, we came together as a team. We did some team building stuff. And that Virginia Tech game, my teammate Kamarni Smith just scores a hat trick in the first half. And we end up beating Virginia Tech 4-1.
Awesome.
And then everyone's just looking around each other and they're like, who cares about that Wake Forest game? This is the tournament time now.
I love that, dude.
And we're like, we're going to win. And so after we play Virginia Tech.
Nice. Tell us, stick on that hat trick. What's the player's name again?
Kamarni.
Well, did he say anything after the game? Or was he just like, okay, like, let's dominate?
It was
like,
just,
he built that fire for you guys, of course, right then and there. But tell us more a little bit about that.
It was more just like, let's dominate. Like going into the game, we're coming off a loss.
Yeah.
So it's not the best form for the team. And we're like, we need a good game right here. And Kamarni scores 3 goals in the first half. We go in the locker room. They're like, let's go. We're going to win the first half. Let's try and win the second half.
I love that.
And after the game, we're all looking around at each other and we're like, yeah, we're going to do this. Like,
that's awesome, man. Yeah. You guys had that hunger, right?
Oh, yeah.
Nice. And the next game was Virginia, right?
Virginia. So
did you guys lose to them in 2019?
We lost. Lost to Virginia in the ACC Championship last year. We were up 1-0 at halftime, come back, and they beat us 3-1.
Okay.
So we had.
Did you feel that like revenge, kind of like okay?
In the locker room before the game, we all knew what was about to happen. We're like, these are the guys that took it away from us the first time. We're not letting this happen again. And I could see. I was looking around. I could see the hunger in everyone's eyes.
That's amazing.
It was
man.
insane. Yeah.
Those are the best type of environments to be in, right? Yeah. Like when you know everybody, like it doesn't matter if you're a starter or if you're coming off the bench or you're just a team player. Yeah. If everybody has that, you kind of know, right? No one else knows, but you guys know, right? Yeah. So tell us about that game.
And to add to that, also before the locker room, I'm sitting in there and it's before the game and I look over to our 2 captains. I can see it in their eyes. Like I know that they're ready for the game. And then you look around the room, like the starters, the subs coming in, even the people who haven't played all season, they have the hunger in their eyes too, and they haven't even played all season. Like, everyone was bought in, and I knew we were going to end up winning that game.
That's a very important word that you just chose, or two words, like being bought in, man, right? Because, I mean, it doesn't matter how well or how great an organization is. The people that are part of that organization have to be bought in. Because if you're not bought in, like, I love watching soccer. Like, I'm a big soccer head, and I watch different teams. I watch teams that have great players, but I also want to notice how committed are these players to this game and to this team and to this culture, right? Like, one of my favorite teams is Liverpool, and even our star players, you can tell that they're bought into the system. They're bought into that winning mentality, which is what you guys had, man.
Yeah, and I'm starting to notice that in college soccer as well. Like, the most successful teams are the ones who are completely bought in. Last year, Georgetown won the national championship. They played like 21 players in their championship game. And from the first guy all the way to the last guy, everyone was bought in. And you see a team like Stanford, you know, they might not always be the most technical team, but they're always hungry and they're always bought in. And they always, like, they end up making it to the Final Four because of that. You know? And that's what it really takes to be successful in college soccer, on top of, you know, the technical and the tactical pieces.
You're touching on all the ingredients, man, going in with that confidence, having that hunger, being bought in. I mean, all these things, not even in soccer, just in life in general. If you want to succeed, you need to have these ingredients. Because if you don't, like, nothing's going to happen, man. Like, success doesn't care about how you feel. You know what I'm saying? Nice. So tell us about that Virginia game, man. You guys went in like, nah. Like, we're getting revenge.
Oh, yeah. I knew, like, the boys wanted revenge. From the first whistle, when we do, like, our press, I could see it. You know, I see Kamari and Grace, and they're just pressing the center backs, and the center back just kicks it out of bounds, and we're all on the bench. We're like, yeah, right? We're in their heads. Yeah. And then
Homeboy was like, yo, what did these guys eat before the game?
The center backs were startled. And then you know, we were playing good soccer as well, you know, linking passes, creating chances. And then we ended up scoring. Kamarni scored in the, like, near the end of the first half. And then, you know, we kept the press up. And I remember I came in near the end of the first half, and I was pressing and doing a job as well, and, you know, other subs too. So you could tell that not only the starting 11 were locked in, but, you know, me and all the other subs who were coming in, we were all switched on as well. So that was very good.
That's awesome, man. So the whistle blows, you guys win. Tell us that feeling, man.
It was an insane feeling. Not to mention that my other teammate, Pipe, he scored the game-winning PK. So we were up 1-0 the whole entire game. They scored like a deflection goal in like the last
BS goal.
Yeah, a BS goal in the last 5 minutes of the game. We're like, oh, not this again. Are we going to overtime with this team? Are they going to come back? And we look on the field, and our captain's like, boys, who cares? Like, let's go score one. We have 5 minutes left. We're going to score one.
That's a leader right there.
That's a leader. Everyone else on the bench is like, let's go, boys, let's go. 3 minutes left in the game, we get a PK. And, you know, the coach is like, he wants our captain to take it. And Pipe is like, nah, I got this. Takes the ball, puts it on the spot, slots it in. We're getting lit in the corner. We're getting lit. It's nice. And then we end up winning the game. And when they blow the whistle, we were just like, we did it. You know, these are the boys who took this away from us last year. And, you know, we got our revenge. And, you know, now let's just go win in the final.
Nice.
Amazing feeling.
That's awesome, man. So tell us about that championship game, man. What's it like going into a championship game? Like, are you nervous? Are you excited? Like, I know you guys were hungry through the whole thing, but you're still going into a final.
Yeah.
Like, right in your mind, like, I remember listening to this interview that was done with a player that played with Maradona, and, like, homeboy told Maradona, he was like, yo, I'm afraid. And he was like, good, because I am too. But they still went out and won anyways, you know? So, like, there's different things that happen. So tell us a little bit about that.
So, to be honest, we kind of saw it as just like another game.
Okay.
You know, the things that we talked about with our captains is normalize the situation. And a saying that they said before the game is, you know, the people who are most victorious die before they go into battle. Yeah, you know.
I love that,
That's
bro.
a hard quote. That's a hard quote. Yeah. And we just had that mindset. And, you know, our preparations going up into the game, everything was just on point. You know, the meetings, the film sessions, the training sessions. It was almost as if we were ready for the game. We were ready to win the game before the game even started. You know,
I love that.
Walking in through the gates, you know, it was like, yeah, We got this. And, you know, we gave it to him. So
did everyone have that, like, yo, don't talk to me face, like, going? You see that?
Yeah. I'm not even going to lie. When I got off the bus, you know, I had my AirPods in. I get off the bus, I'm walking, you know, I'm kind of like strutting. I'm like, nah, no one talk to me. Trying to act all hard and stuff like that. Yeah, it was funny. But.
That's the best. I love that. And another thing I find hilarious is, like, when you know you score a banger, like one of the most amazing goals, and you play it off like it's not a big deal, but inside you're hype.
Yeah, that actually happened on our first goal. Moha, he was in striker. He gets a ball crossed into him. Insane finish. Just slots it in the bottom corner in the final, and he's like, yeah. I know inside he was like, yes, sir.
He's like, I do this all day, boys. Yeah. That's awesome, man. What was the final score of the final?
It was 2-1.
Okay, nice. Did they tie it up, or were you guys okay?
Yeah, so honestly, we came out at halftime, and it was kind of like the Virginia game. People were like, oh, God, it's some deja vu. So versus Virginia last year, we score in the first half, going to halftime up 1-0. Within like the first 5 minutes, Virginia scores. It's 1-1. We're like, oh, God. Versus Pitt, we're up 1-0, going to halftime. Within the first 5 minutes, Pitt score.
Uh-oh.
And, you know, the crowd behind us, because we had a decent crowd, even though we had COVID, it was a decent crowd. They're like, oh, God, not this again. But I tell you what, you know, we did not crumble under pressure at all.
I love that, man.
And we were playing some of our best football after they scored against us. And, you know, we were pinging the ball around, and Grayson played the ball into our striker, Grayson crossed it into James, and he heads it in, and, you know, we're up 2-1. And we all knew that we just were dominating them.
Nice.
Yeah.
I love that, man. It's another ingredient you just talked about, adversity, right?
Adversity.
Right? Like, it's not about, like, how many times you get knocked down. It's about how many times you get back up, right? And, like, you're right, like, the exact same thing is happening again, okay? How are you going to react to it? Are you going to crumble again, or are you going to go through with it, man? Nice. So they blow the whistle, 2-1. You guys win. What happens, man?
I'm going to be honest. That was the best feeling I think I've had in my whole life. I remember the whistle blew, and last year when the whistle blew, we were like trotting out on the pitch. We were just like, oh, God. This year, the whistle blew. I don't even know how to feel, man. Like, I was just so excited. Everyone was running around, tackling each other, hugging each other.
Did you fall on the ground and go like this, or what did you do?
Nah. I was goofing around. Like, I was so happy. I went and hugged my team. I started like dancing and stuff. Like, yeah, and it was insane. You know, it was just an insane blessing. So I was just very, you know, happy.
Okay, nice, man. And what kind of things did you get, like, from winning a championship, man? Show us.
So this is actually the ring from last year.
Okay.
So we won the ACC regular season last year. We're going to get the ring sometime next year.
Okay, cool.
And they gave us ACC Championship hats and shirts. And then they also gave us this big trophy.
Nice.
And so, you know, that was pretty cool.
That's cool, man. Like, you can always look back, like, in the future. I mean, like, we all live in the moment, but, like, in 5, 10, 15, 20 years from now, like, you can always go back to this moment and always talk about that, right?
Yeah.
Which I think is really cool. Like, you were part of something that's great.
Yeah.
You can always go to Clemson, like, yeah, I played on that team.
Yeah, that's what I was telling some of the boys. I was like, boys, like, we made history. You know, when we get older, we're gonna look back on this, and it's like, you know, this team did something special.
Yeah, man.
And it's almost kind of weird because winning the ACC Championship, you know, for soccer is something that's really hard to do. You know, we have a lot of good teams in our conference, and then we have to play, like, a tournament as well. And it's, like, something that's, like, so hard to do.
Yeah, bro.
And
listen, just making D1 is difficult.
Exactly.
Going to actually a tournament championship and actually winning it, that's even another level.
Yeah, and it was honestly surreal. Like, I just didn't even know how to – it's still a shock for me now. You know, it went 2 weeks later, I'm like, wow, I can't believe we did that.
Yeah.
But, yeah. But, you know, on top of that, you know, we're playing in the spring as well. So we're going to stay sharp and stay ready because we're going to try and go for the national championship in the spring.
That's awesome, bro. I love that. So your coach has won 2 titles, right?
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about his influence on the team.
I'll tell you what, he's one of the best coaches I've had. He helps out so much with the tactical side of the game. He's made me such a smart player on the ball, and he's, you know, continuing to develop me. In terms of, like, the intangibles, he instills that in us all the time. You know, adversity, hard work, effort, you know, things that you can't teach. And he even, like, tries to implement those in our training sessions. And
how does he do that on the training sessions? I'm curious.
I don't know if I'm allowed to speak on that. I don't want to get.
I got you.
I don't want to speak on that too much, but
like, can you think like just a general instance? Maybe is it something that he says to you guys? Is it like? I know there's certain coaches that like when players are getting the limelight and they're like, oh, like you're the best, like they grab the player and say, hey man, you missed these 2 shots. What happened? Right? To kind of try to humble them down.
He's the coach that always, tries to keep us humble, try and keep us hungry.
Okay.
We always try and be uncommon.
Yeah.
That's a word that
I like that. Uncommon.
Before.
Okay.
Uncommon. You want to be a championship team, you got to be an uncommon team. What are you doing that other teams aren't doing? Or what are you doing better than other teams? During the COVID era, how are we going to handle that, with our fitness and stuff? We couldn't do some of the stuff that we would, train previously because of COVID protocols and stuff like that. Are we going to handle a pandemic better than Wake Forest is?
Wow.
Are we going to take our chances better than Wake Forest? Are we going to defend our box better than Louisville, Chapel Hill? And it's about being uncommon, and that's what will get championships.
100%, man. Like most winners are uncommon, right?
Exactly.
Like they do things that most people don't do. Yeah. I love that, man. That's cool, man. So say that I'm an up-and-coming kid, 13, 14, 15. Like, what kind of advice would you give somebody that wants to make it to D1?
The advice I would give them is play with confidence and always get a lot of touches on the ball.
Okay.
That's something that I'd want to tell any young player, any kid, get touches on the ball. Be confident on the ball. Be confident with playing with your back to goal and stuff like that, because in D1, that's really the biggest difference. Like you can go and tell them, work on your tactical ability, technical, all that stuff, go to the gym, all that stuff. But, what's really important is being confident on the ball and being confident with your touches. In D1, you're going to have big 6'3", 6'4" defenders coming up your backside. Have the confidence to have a good first touch. You might miss a pass. Have the confidence to find the ball and, play on angles and stuff like that. It's really about confidence. So any 13, 14, 15-year-old kid, if they're playing where they're not getting enough touches on their own, go get more touches on the ball. Be confident. In training sessions, never hide from the ball. That's the one thing I want to do, like never hide.
Yeah.
Always want to get on the ball. And
that's true, man. Like you're absolutely right. Like I feel like people like even when they're not having great games, like people tend to shy away a little bit, or like when they're not confident, like shy away. But like those are the moments that like you need to step up more, right?
And to add on to that, I feel like I wish someone would have told me that when I was younger.
Yeah.
Because I remember around the 13, 14, 15-year-old range, I would play forward some, and I'd miss one-on-ones and stuff like that, going up to the keeper. And I wouldn't want to get the ball because I was, shying away from it. I wasn't confident enough to get in front of the goal, and I could have missed opportunities there.
Yeah.
When I went into my first national team camp, I'm with all these good players. I'm not even going to lie. I struggled a bit. I'm missing some passes, and it's just like, and the left center back's getting the ball, I should be dropping down, get on the ball and create something for myself.
Yeah.
And, I'm moving up because it's like, I messed up the first time. I wish someone would have told me just to continue getting on the ball.
Yeah.
And, now, I have that mindset. But,
well, the cool thing is it takes time, man.
It takes time.
Yeah, and the cool thing is, like, this advice that you're giving, someone will listen to it. And when they're on the field, they'll be like, you know what, like, I can do that.
Yeah.
Right? That's awesome. So tell us about some of the players that you like, man. I know you told me that Tejas is one of them, the Man U fullback.
Yeah, and I like Raheem Sterling as well as a left winger. He's one of those wingers who have, like, electrifying pace.
Yeah.
He's, like, very twitchy. His touches, like, he can make any defender fall. I was watching the game today, and he put Wan-Bissaka on the ground.
Yeah, he did.
I was like, yeah, he's one of those tricky wingers. And then Alex Tellez, also like Serginho Dest, the fellow American player.
Shout out to Serginho, bro.
Yeah,
he plays for Barca, another one of my favorite teams. So.
Exactly. I mean, he's 20 years old, but you watch how he plays the game. He's confident, always looking to get on the ball. His touches are clean.
Yep.
And he's not afraid to go at defenders.
Yep.
And, when I play left back, I'm the type of left back, if I see green grass, I'm going to take it. And I'm that type of left back who's going to create overloads and, be kind of like a menace for a right back. As a fullback, one of the worst things you can have is have the right back and the right wing attacking you at the same time.
Yeah.
And that's the fullback that I want to be in, create another option in the attack.
I like that.
So, yeah.
That's awesome, man. Cool. Final question that I have to you then, man, is what do you think soccer has taught you about life?
Soccer has taught me so many things about life. I'd say humility is one of them. Humility, relationships with my teammates, and, well, I'll talk about those two first. So
go ahead.
Humility. The game has taught me so much because I feel that I've been blessed with success growing up. And I feel that the game has really taught me how to, handle the success and be humble for these blessings. And, and I was telling some of my friends that when I get older, I want to give back to the game because the game has given me so much.
That's awesome.
And, just more about being humble is I feel like the most humble players are some of the ones who end up having, the best careers.
Yep.
Because you can couple your humility with coachability.
Yep.
Being able to take in information from coaches, being humble enough to be like, okay, yeah, I scored a hat trick last game, but how can I get better? I made a good pass, but let me get on the ball again because I want to make another good pass.
Yeah.
Always trying to improve. And there's a saying, it's called Kaizen. It's about continual improvement. And it's always just about trying to be better.
You're coming in with all the great sayings, bro. Like, I need to write all these down.
I'm learning these sayings from, playing the game.
Yeah.
So the game has taught me so much.
Nice.
And then just about the relationships with your teammates. That's something that it's taught me as well. Playing at Discovery Soccer Club all my life, some of those boys, they're like family. I still talk to them today.
That's awesome.
Some of my best friends. I meet some of my best friends playing soccer.
Yeah.
And it's like that in college as well. And, I feel like people need to cherish those relationships. And so, yeah.
It's true, man. Like, because, it's really difficult for you to imagine what life is going to be 5, 10, 15 years from now. So I think, like, having the perspective of, okay, like, wow, I'm in an amazing time of my life right now. Like, just enjoy it a little bit more, right?
Yeah.
Nice. Well, awesome. Well, this concludes another episode of the Golden Boots podcast. My man, thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, thank you for having me.